नमो नमः। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनेति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशे तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Okay, so today the first verse is 15th chapter, 5th number verse. Any Mataji, Prabhuji would like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Kalyani Mataji, please. Hare Krishna Mataji, please read Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 15.5.
Yes, ma'am.
निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाद्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैर्गच्छन्तमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are free from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender to the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji. So this is one of the best verses, I think every devotee should be ready because the next year is a leap year. That's Adhik Maas would be there, and we would be reciting the entire month, all the 20 verses of this chapter. So in that, this verse, which talks about, you can say, the process, and if we read this verse, it's very self-explanatory, in which we don't have to explain too much. So we will go by bits and pieces. So if you see the verse, there are around 4 to 5 segments in that. In that, first, Krishna says, Nirman Moha, first thing, okay? Jit Sanga Dosha, second. Adhyatma Nitya Vinivrit Kama, third and fourth. Dvande Vimukta, fifth. Sukha Dukha Sangair, okay? Gachante Amura Padamavyam Tataha. So, if we talk about the first thing, what did Krishna says? Nirmana moha. And Prabhupada writes, what is it? It's false prestige, right? And how does our acharyas transcribe this? Pratishtha sukarer vishtha. Prestige is that pratishtha which is just like the stool of a hog, nothing more than that. Because until and unless we are thirsty of oneself, that we want somebody to praise us. Prabhuji, you are doing so nice preaching. Prabhuji, you are doing so great classes. We want every now and then, we want some appreciations to come because we are thirsty. This is false prestige. We want to see how many people are coming in our classes. That's why our Acharya says, if you are hungry of pratishtha, then it's just like sukarer vishtha. But see, that's why we do a lot of things. But do we really mean what are we doing? Because I think every one of us, every day, utter these words. After the Mangalarti is over, when the Jai Dhwani starts, we utter these words, right? What are these words? All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. And at the end, all glories to Guru and Gaurang. So we must think, when all glories I have given, when I am saying, right, I am saying all glories to assembled devotees, that means when I have given all glories to all the people, those who have assembled, all the Vaishnavas, those who have assembled, so that means no glories remains with me. I should not think that I also should be glorified because I am giving all the glories to everyone. But do we really mean? We are just just like the parrots do, we just keep on repeating, but we never mean that. That's what here Krishna is telling. Until and unless our focus is just behind that false prestige, we will never be able to make it up. Now, one question comes here. When Krishna says false prestige, right? So that means, can I make out of it that something known as true prestige is also there, right? So, what is true prestige? If Krishna is telling that we should not have false prestige, then what is true prestige? True prestige is, as Goswamiji says, asa abhimana jai jani bhori मैं सेवक रघुपति पति मोरे. Goswamiji says is the true prestige is that I am the servant of Krishna, dasanudasaha, that I always want to be the eternal servant of Krishna. This is true prestige. But as in the shackles of the three modes of nature, we are so much shackled that we have forgotten all these things. And in this material world, we just want to enjoy. We want to attain, or we want to capture the prestige only for us, not for everyone, not for others. That's why Krishna is but putting the first point, that if you have the false prestige in yourself, if you want false prestige till you die, then again you have to take birth. You will never be able to attain my eternal abode. That's the first point, false prestige. The second point is jit sanga dosha, right? If you see jit sang dosha, in this it has been talked about the company. That's why Goswamiji says, Baru bhal bas narak kar trata dusht sang jani dev vidhata. Goswamiji says that instead of giving me bad association, put me into hell. I can reside there lifelong. I don't want a bad, but I don't want bad association. So association is so important that even in our preachings, in a lot of classes, we say, right, that the ABCD of our bhakti starts with A, and A stands for association. Because without association, we cannot go up, we cannot crawl up, we cannot progress in our life. That's how important association is. That's why Krishna is saying, first win jit sang dosha. Don't have bad association in your life. That's why in Bhagavatam it has been said, jit asanaho jit swaso jit sango jitendriya. Jit sango. Until and unless you have overcome your bad friends, whether it may be physical friends, or maybe it is a habitual friend. We have lot many of bad habits in us. Until and unless we overcome them, we will not be able to make it to Krishna's abode. That's why jit sanga dosha. Now the third point is adhyatma nitya. So Krishna says adhyatma nitya. That's why there's a very famous verse, which we always recite before we start the Bhagavatam classes. What is it? Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavatam sevya bhagavata uttam shloki bhakti bharvati nashtiki nityam bhagavatam sevya. What does that mean? That spirituality has to be eternal. It has to be every fraction of second. It has to be a part of our life. It has to be a part of our breath. That as we breathe, every breath should be associated with Krishna's name. No breath should go without Krishna's name. That is Adhyatma Nitya. That is why it has been told that spirituality is not any magic. It's not about bringing out something, some vibhuti or some gold ring and all those things. Those are fascinating. Those are just foolish activities. spirituality is a process which brings magic in itself. Leave about magic, which brings Supreme Lord itself to you, nothing else. That's why when asked to Goswamiji, he said, "What is spirituality? What should be the approach towards spirituality?" So Goswamiji says, "Kamahi nari pyari jimi, lobahi priya jimi dham, तैसे ही रघुनाथ निरंतर प्रिय लागो हुई मोहि राम." See, if you see the examples given by Goswamiji are very odd, a bit odd, because first he compares with lust. Kamahi nari pyari jimi. He says, as a lusty person has his views that he keeps on staring at women because his view is very lusty. He always want to be in the taste of that lust. Kamahi nari pyari jimi. Other than, and the next is lobahi priya jimi dam. And secondly, he gives the example of a person who is always in the look of wealth. Lobahi priya jimi dam. That a person who is always in the front of making a lucrative business, he always thinks of money, 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 nothing else. On one side, a person always thinks of women, 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 and the other side, a person always thinks out of money, 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 money. Now, Goswami says, like these people are so much attached to lust and to money. I want that feeling. Nirantara Raghunath Priya Lago hi mohi Ram. With that sort of feeling, I should love my Ram. So this is Adhyatma Nitya. That never ever even a breath could go without the association of Krishna's name. And if we are able to do it, I think we did our job in this life and it's done. After that, Krishna says, Vinivrita Kamaha. Get rid of all lusty desires. In this regard, see, desire is so bad, so nefarious that even if you have a small desire, whether it's good or bad, okay, you have to take another birth to get it done, if not done in this life. That's why in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Maharaj writes beautifully, and he has just torn apart this the concept of human birth. That what is a human birth actually? And it's a very beautiful verse. If you read, it's somewhere in chapter canto 4th. He says, Shut parito yathadinam sarameyo griham griham charan vindati drishtam dandam odanam evava tatha kam ashayo jivaha. What does that mean? Shut parito yathadinam sarameyo griham griham. Shut parito means when felt hungry. So here Vedavyasji has compared the soul, the conditioned soul, like a dog. When he says Saramayo griham griham, Saramayo is a dog. When the dog feels hungry, what does he do? Griham griham. He roams about from one door to another door. Charan vindati yad drishtam dandam odanam evava. He walks on, he wanders, keeps on wandering from one door to another door. And what happens? Yad drishtam dandam odanam va. Drishtam means as per his fortune, as per his luck, depending on his karma. What does it get? Dandam. At times he gets stick at his back, and odanam eva. Sometimes he gets food. Likewise, says tatha काम आशयो जीवः उच्च avach patha brahmanah. Likewise, even the jiva in the thirst of desires, tatha kam ashayo. In the process of attaining all sorts of desire, fulfilling his desires, the jiva, what happens? Uch avach patha brahmanah. Uch means the upper planets, avach means the lower planets. The jiva continues to travel from upper planets to lower planets. upari adha va madhye yati yat drishtam priyam apriyam. And likewise, like the dog gets a stick at his back or food, the jiva also gets sometimes good, sometimes bad. Very simple. So our life is just like that dog the dog keeps on roaming from door to door. We keep on roaming from one life to another life, from another life to another life. That's our condition. That's why Krishna is saying, Vinivrita kamaha. Get rid of all desires. You should not have any desire. You should be completely empty in regards to desires. Then only you will be able to come to my eternal abode. And then at the end, it's very simple. Dvanda vimukta sukha dukkha sangaya. That all the dualities of this material life, material world, the sukh dukkha sangaya. That's why Krishna, even in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter, he says, Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yudhaya yujasva naivam papma vapasyasi. Without desires, without thinking anything, without thinking of good and bad, just go on with your responsibilities. Get rid of all your responsibilities and move on. This way, we can capture sukh and dukh. Because until as grief and happiness are there in our life, with these two things, every other thing will come to our life until as we get rid of these things. So in this way, the Krishna has given the entire menu that until as you get rid of all these things, you will never be able to attain my eternal abode. But he says, once you get rid of all these things and without any doubt you surrender unto me, you will attain that eternal kingdom. You will attain that eternal abode of mine. In this way, so see, just for talking about, we have talked a lot of things in just 5 minutes. That's why a very famous saint in Vrindavan, he says very beautifully, he says that जेब में नहीं फूटी कौड़ी, he says जेब में नहीं फूटी कौड़ी बातें करोड़ों अरबों की. Right? What does that mean? Means that means 1% of austerity is there, not there in our life. Purity is not there in our life. But we talk of big verses and big statements. So what is the use of talking when it's not there with us? So that's why, with respect to a class, we might have completed the verse, but this verse lasts in our life until and unless we have got this entire verse implemented in our life. Because Bhagavad Gita is not only about talking and listening and talking, it's about realizing, it's about a realization aspect. And until as that happens, however and whatever number of classes we attain, nothing is going to happen. Because at the end of the day, what we drink, that matters. What we see or what we hear doesn't matter. And even Katha Upanishad and many other Upanishads are there which talks about this. So now Krishna is telling that these are the things which are the list. Once you get rid of these things, once you qualify, then you are qualified for my eternal abode. Now he talks about a very beautiful thing. Now he talks about his abode, that how does his abode look like? So let's look at that. And any Prabhuji would like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I?
Yes, Priti Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. Na tadvasayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka yat gatavana nirvantante tadhama paramam mama. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. That supreme abode of fire or electricity, those who reach it never return to this material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Now Krishna is talking about his eternal abode. How does it look? What does he say? Supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or the moon, nor by fire, nor electricity, nor any LED or nor any LCD. It's completely illuminated by Krishna's energy, Krishna's strength. Those who reach it never return to this world. Now, in this regard, there's a very famous verse which says, Yat nakhen duruchi brahma dheyam brahma adi bhi suray guntrayam atitam tam vande vrindavaneshwaram. So this verse has been talked by Lord Shankar in Padma Puran Patal Khand. Now, what does it mean? He says, very beautiful verse it is. It says, Yat nakhena. Nakhen means nails. He says, Yat nakhena duruchi brahma. Duruchi Brahma means the light which is coming out from the tip of Krishna's nails, means from the nails, that light which is illuminating. After that, what does it say? Theyam means people do dhyana. Who all are doing that? Brahma Adi Bhi Surai. Along with Brahmaji, all other demigods who are there, they do dhyan on that light which is coming out of that from the nails, from the nail of somebody, he says. Now, in the next verse, he says, who is that somebody? He says, Gunatrayam Atitam. He is that person who is devoid, who is really away from the three gunas. Gunatrayam Atitam. Tam Vande Vrindavaneshwaram. Now, who is Vrindavaneshwaram? Without any doubt, yes, it's Krishna. So, even Lord Shankar says that it is the Krishna with whose feet, from whose nails, that Brahma Jyoti, the Brahma Jyoti that we talk about. If you think about Brahma Jyoti, you will get Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. But you will never get Shanti, 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 because Prabhupada, I think in many other purports, he writes, it may be a stoppage, but it's not the destiny. You might get some happiness, but you will not get the eternal happiness, because that's not the end. That's just a middle way, on the middle. That's why in Krishna consciousness, in the path of bhakti, it is said that even Bhagavatam says it starts from Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdate. It starts from Brahmeti, but that's not the final post. The final is yet to come. That's why Krishna is saying that until and unless you consider from where that shining, that light is coming, and you reach the destination, will never be able to make it up. That's why, as Prabhupada says very beautifully, that until and unless we leave the association of all these material world, material desires, material aspects, material thoughts, and strongly get determined that yes, we have to transform ourselves and we have to leave these material world and lift ourselves. And for that, what we have to do? Association. Again, Prabhupada says association. Association with good, association with devotees. That's why in Bhagavatam it is said, Tulyam lave napi na swargam na punabharavam bhagavata sangi sangasya martyanam kimuta ashisha. Ki even if a fraction of second of association with a pure devotee is far more valuable than than getting a swargloka or getting some kind of siddhis in this material world. Even it is better than that. That's why we should always look out for good association. Prabhupada says this. But now after that, Prabhupada gives a disclaimer. Prabhupada warns us that you cannot get detached from this material world only by dressing yourself. As Prabhupada writes very beautifully in his purport, you can read that. He says you cannot get detached from this material life only by dressing yourself with saffron. Prabhupada is saying with saffron, I am adding just whether it's saffron or whether white, you cannot get detached. Why? Because Adi Shankaracharya Maharaj says, Jatilo mundi luchita keshaha kashyambar bahukritaveshaha pashyati pashyanapi cha na pashyati mudho udar nimittam bahukritaveshaha. So Adi Shankaracharya says, Jatilo mundi luchita keshaha. Whether you have, 20 kilometers of shikha, doesn't matter. Luchita keshaha. Or Jatilo mundi luchita kesha. Otherwise, you shave your head completely. Doesn't matter. Whether you dress up with white, yellow, pink, blue, black. In South India, you will see few people for around, I think, how many days? 40 days, I think, right? 40 days, they dress up with black. They don't eat, even their wives made food, they will not eat. They will not stay at home. They will get up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, and they have their own association for that 40 days. They will cook on their own food, and they will stay away from house, do everything, rest. But the ultimate destiny is just on the 41st day, when that 40 days are gone, again on that 41st day they will wake up early in the morning, and this time they will not take bath. They will stand in the line in a poultry farm. This is their austerity. So whether you dress up in blue, black, blue, yellow, saffron, white, and whatsoever, it's not going to make any difference. That's why dressing oneself, you know, especially nowadays, that ghagra that has come for females. You will see, especially in Vrindavan, that I see here, every female that wears that ghagra is in the temple just to make reels, nothing else. Even yesterday, I think I stopped someone. Means this entire that Vrindavan Prangan, temple Prangan, is just for making reels, nothing else. Even the watchmen have got frustrated because that dress. The people think that by put nowadays, even in the line of bhakti, even with devotees, I have seen. I don't know in which shastras or Upanishad it is written that putting tattoos on your body makes you a great devotee. I don't know from where did this concept come. So until and unless we are dehatma buddhi, we have this mentality of this material body, that yes, we have this body, forget about devotional life in our life. Nothing is going to happen. After that, many people would tell a lot of things. Nothing is going to work, because that's why Prabhupada is writing very carefully and very warning us that even he has not written white, he has written straight away saffron. Even if you wear saffron, nothing is going to happen, because dress doesn't give you a guarantee to attain the eternal abode. It's the qualities, it's not the dress, that you will get the address of Krishna. So that's why we have to be very careful. What exactly are we trying to do? Are we trying to impress the audience that we see in the temple or anywhere in the entire world? Are we here to impress the world, or are we here to impress the, means, a person who is away apart from this world, that Krishna? So that is our conclusion from these two verses, that what we exactly we want to do. If we want to impress the world, go ahead, no doubt. But remember, we'll never attain that eternal abode. So that's why Krishna says these are the qualities with which we can attain. And if we work on ourselves, obviously we can attain. And as Krishna, even Prabhupada writes very beautifully, he gives an alarm to us, that don't think that by dressing or by putting some fascinating designs on your body, something going to happen. It's not going to work. It's only going to work with your austerity or your devotional service unto the Lord. Okay, with this I conclude. Hare Krishna Mataji.